Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Patmos, and it is April the 3rd, 2026. And I have a video that some of you might enjoy, some of you might not enjoy. It might cause some of you to get your panties in a bunch, but too bad. I was having a little back and forth with a um, person who was commenting on one of my Substacks who offered up an anti Semitic slur. And I thought rather than directly confront that, it was related to COVID and vaccination and so forth. And I thought rather than engage with this person who was obviously anti Semitic, I just found myself thinking about the question, what does humanity owe to Jewish people with respect to contributions of science and medicine? And what you'll find below is the answer to that question. And it is a very interesting question if you ask, what have Jewish people, especially Ashkenazi Jewish people, contributed to the world? Uh, you know, Politics and public events today, the Jewish people have gotten a lot of criticism over handling of Gaza and other matters, and some of that criticism, is very understandable. But it still begs the question: what have Jewish people done for the world, especially with regard to science and medicine? Well, sit down and read below, because what you're about to read is going to floor you. It turns out that many, if not most, of the most notable scientific advancements in medicine and in science over the last couple of centuries have come from Jewish people, especially Ashkenazi Jews. Consider this one statistic: Jewish people constitute 0.2% of the human population, but they've won 25 to 30% of all the Nobel Prizes. You think about scientists like Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr, physicians like Jonas Salk and Baruch Blumberg. These are giants of medicine and science who have made the most important contributions to humanity. And so there's a list down below of all these really notable, fantastic Jewish scientists and physicians and what they have contributed. And it's my hope that someday we will learn to set aside our hatred for one another and start to appreciate the good that we can all do. Now, this does not mean that Jewish people and Ashkenazi Jews in particular are superior to other people. The reasons why they've made such contributions are complicated, but have to do with the fact that the devout Jewish people revere education and scholarship and study. That's been through centuries. And also over the centuries, they were precluded from owning businesses. So they tended to, or certain businesses, so they tended to gravitate toward academia, and so science and medicine became a natural fit. Certainly, many other groups have also contributed uh, to the benefit of the world. Certainly, the Asian people and African people and Muslims have all groups have contributed uh, to the benefit of humanity. But it must be remembered that the Jewish people have contributed uh, uh, well beyond their numbers to the benefit of humanity. And maybe we can all just take a step back and start treating each other with respect and taking care of one another and doing what we can, whatever our ethnicity or background, to benefit other human beings, to restore a sense of humanity. And I thought that the list below of famous Jewish doctors is something that you would enjoy. I would like to add one more very famous Jewish doctor to the list who I think is left off the list. There is a doctor in Boston by the name of Dr. Richard Schwartzstein. He is a pulmonary critical care specialist, happens to be professor and chief of pulmonary and critical care medicine at Harvard Medical School. He's also the chief of Pulmonary and Critical Care at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston, one of the world's premier teaching hospitals. Part of his role is to oversee all graduate medical education at that hospital, which is known among doctors as the House of God. And Dr. Richard Schwartzstein is the big cheese there. He has written his own summary of principles of medicine called the Schwartzstein Pyramid, which I think is something that most medical students know or should know. And I thought it was really interesting when I learned more about Dr. Schwartzstein. I was told by one of the pulmonary doctors in the Boston area that he is probably responsible for training most, if not all, of the pulmonary critical care doctors in the entire Boston area, which is probably the leading academic training ground for medicine anywhere in the world. So, adding the name of Dr. Richard Schwartzstein to that venerable list. So, peace to all of you. Let's give peace a chance.